Hello. How are we doing today? Let's get the project fly overlay going. There we go. How are we doing today? I need to do some stuff before I can really get going here. And that would be... connecting to VATSIM. I'm using a new VATSIM client, by the way. So things are going to look a small bit different. Need to file a flight plan. Let's say we're going indicated our true speed of 300 knots. Here. Flight level 150. That's the second flight. Nuts. Oh well, I still need to file a flight plan. So if the traverse speed is going to be probably about 300. Departure airport is Golf Fox Lima, I believe. Departure time is going to be 1700. Cruising altitude is going to be flight level 150. Route is gonna be gonna file the Lungy viewer and then down. You guys can't see this and I'm sorry. UV6142 is it Romeo Oscar Bravo? Romeo Oscar Bravo. Destination airport is... Get this up. Hey Irish! Destination airport is... Haha! Departure airport is Golf Fox Lima Lima. That would explain why I was a bit confused. Destination is Golf Lima Romeo Bravo. Estimated time en route is going to be 1 hour 30 minutes estimated. Fuel on board is going to be 3 hours. Alternate. Do I need an alternate? Missing alternate. Flight plan. Okay, so that's just it. Swift and there's supposedly, and I'm not seeing it, a plane hovering at 2,000 feet. Unless he's on the ground and something's gone horrifically wrong with VATSIM. Let's see if we can find him real quick. Because VATSPY is saying there's a plane at 2,000 feet just off the runway somewhere. And I am not seeing it. directly overhead? Is that it? No, it's supposed to be 787. Yeah, I'm not seeing this Dreamliner that's somehow managed to get lost. Is there anything wrong with this flight plan? Yes. Send that to the network. You're getting dead stick, very nice, Kevin. I've applied for the closed beta for that, hoping I get it. But I applied as my real self, not as YouTube Dave. So I'm going to need to go to this, and yes. Oh, this is making things interesting. We actually have, and this is slightly terrifying for me because I'm very nervous doing this, we have an air traffic controller. We have Robert's Center online. So what I'm going to need to do is get the batteries and gens going, get the nav light on, and tune into COM 1, 128.1, and hope this is PG because I have no control over VATSIM ATC. Here we go. Hey Traff, I should also mention, Swift Client has noises. They're horrific. We're in the voice room now. We'll need to request clearance in a second. I just want to double check that everything is okay here. Put the windshield ice on. We're gonna need like all of the anti-ices, I think. Potato mics intensify. Yeah. ASG. I'm just gonna hold for a minute here. Just in case he decides to log off, because there's a... Well, number one, to check if he's logging off. Number two, to check if... Oh! Okay, that's why I couldn't say anything. The plane that I was supposed to be looking for is actually in Monrovia. Check Silver News on Facebook. I'm gonna also have to do something odd, which is turn Pretzel down. Because I just realized I'm gonna need to hear ATC clearly. We'll leave it at that. Let's check Silver News on Facebook, see what the big deal is that Kevin wants me to look at. And the big deal is... Oh, Kevin, are you trying to get me to look at Deadstick? There's a reason that Silver knows about Deadstick, and its name is Rainbow Dave. Yeah, myself and Landy pointed out to him, is it real ATC or computer generated? It's real. So I'm gonna have to do a mic check here, because sometimes, and I'm aware of this, sometimes Swift Client does strange things, and I've no idea what to expect here from Austin. Just call him Austin. I'm not gonna give out his full name. 1350 miles an hour, yeah. I'm just gonna... Can you guys tell that I'm trying not to talk to ATC today? I don't really want to. What? Are there jets in Deadstick? No. The only confirmed plane in Deadstick currently is a Piper PA-18 Super Cub. This is me at my most uncomfortable, by the way, because I genuinely have only done ATC on VATSIM once. ATC won't buy. I am terrified, and I'm fairly sure Hayden's already told you this. That I am terrified of ATC. Especially seeing as, and this is actually what's making me more nervy, is there is literally one plane in Roberts Center airspace currently, and it's on the ground, and it's a Cirrus Visionjet SF50, tail number in the same November 251 Charlie Victor. I've just realized this thing has a similar wing profile to the Dreamliner. That's very interesting. I'll be fine. It's not that I'll be fine, it's that, and I never show this on stream, I am very, very shy. I am incredibly shy. I give this persona across, and I am annoyed that I'm having to show it, to drop it today. I don't like people, and I don't like talking to people, so talking to ATC is something that I don't want to do. Not on stream until I'm comfortable with ATC, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that I rarely do, and I'm actually just going to disconnect from VATSIM, because my nerves get the better of me with this. For now. I'm going to get Hayden to force me into it some evening, because he's the one that is the ATC expert. So I'm gonna fly offline today. I'm gonna go back old school. But that's fine. I have a flight plan anyway. So pressure 1009. 1009. Winds, and I'm just going to set the heading as the winds, 280 at 9. You can track me a butterfly, yes you can. I want my cruising altitude to be, I'm gonna say 15,000 because I think that's what I'll be able to manage. And now to put in the flight plan. Oops. Flight plan. Oh yes, I remember how to control this now. Clear the entire flight plan. And I'm hoping this will work the way that I think it'll work, because I can still check the VATSIM from this. We are going Lima Golf India. We'll go by the VOR, I guess. And then this is the bit that might screw up, because I don't know if this can handle this can handle tracks. No, it can't. Right, so into Sky Vector I go to get the actual thing here, because it's comically just 1 point. So let's go with Matt. M-A-T or not Matra, Matru. And then it is Romeo Oscar Bravo in Liberia. And our endpoint is off Lima. Should have rewritten this down. Romeo. Thank you, US. Thank you, Center of America, for having a waypoint. What is that? Is that an NDB called Gaylord? There we go. America, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have any procedures available from here to like Matra? No, so we're just gonna presumably go direct Matra. So let's get I'm hoping better pushback's gonna work here. Let's get pushed back to like there.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
And start pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Oh my god, it's driving up in a golf cart. I do need to plan what runway I want to come off here, so this would have been really smart to check first. Golf Fox Lima Lima. Airport info. And we're going off 30, which is right there. Although comically we're going to have to taxi all the way over there and then backtrack the runway. So we're getting attached to the pushback truck here.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Yes, please connect. It's not going to do something stupid like lift the front of the yes, it is.
Winching strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Excuse me, you what? Might have a tail strike just from the pushback here. Hey, Sylvan.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Let's get the engine going. There's the engine starting up. And I think I've angered better pushback. Can I stop the push, please? Just stop. Just stop, please.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Better pushback got a bit drunk there. Oh wait, no, I need to turn them on from that. Okay, that works. And we'll turn on wing as well. Disconnect. Please, just go away, please, because you're weird. It's saying
Tow is disconnected. Bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
280 at 9, and yet it looks very much like there's going to be a tailwind if I use 30. Let's wait for the hand signal here. Or is he just gonna... Where are you going? I need to be able to see you. Pushback, dude, that is not helpful. So we're just going to ignore the taxiways here and get on... well, ignore the apron taxiways, get onto the main taxiway here. As Late Brain does its thing and makes everything look beautiful. So where we're heading is down to runway 30. This does not match the charts that I have. Mildly concerning. We'll go to Victor 2 and then on to 30, I guess. And with the funky winds, the airspeed is alive already. This is mildly concerning. I think the winds are significantly stronger than... Can I have a weather overlay? Yeah, next rad, please. And oh my god, this plane is struggling. Right, we're just gonna get the strobes on and just launch. What the hell? Okay, fine, we'll take off of the grass, I guess.
FSC flight not started.
That's fine. Go flight director, nav, flight level change. Oh boy, that's quite a lot of turbulence going on here. So actually get some flaps out to... Autopilot, FMS, actually manual climb. Okay, there we go. We'll get, let's get this up to like 160 to try and stabilize against whatever the hell the weather's trying to do. Next rad doesn't seem to be working at all. There's significantly more weather here than the plane is claiming. I may have to change my cruise level as well. This is a plane that is struggling. Let's try 200. See if it wants to behave at 200 knots. Because if it looks like it's trying to stall as is. And 200's just at the bottom of the yellow bar, so that should be good. Hey, Sam. This is a plane that is not happy right now. I'm not entirely sure why. In any case, post takeoff checks. Gear up, flaps up. Country 8000. We'll set altimeter standard. Altimeter. Bar standard, please. And we will try to get up to flight level 150. This plane, however, is struggling big time. Like it's having to go basically to Toga. Can I just set you to climb, please? And be nice to me, or are you just gonna... I'm gonna have to increase cruising altitude to... Let's go 20,000 and hope that works. Get the nose up to, we'll say 170. In a relatively desperate attempt to get above these winds, because this turbulence is quite something. Like, I'm hoping 20,000 feet is enough. Definitely need the anti-ices on. Actually, ISA is 12, so wing engine anti-ice can come off. They're not necessary. I'd say their temperature is 4. I'll monitor that. So this first leg, we are heading to Monrovia, the capital of Liberia. And dealing with a rather worrying amount of turbulence. Although it does look like the plane's finally kind of caught up and is just doing the weird wobble that it likes to do. So I'm going to actually, yeah, bring my cruise back down to the initial 15,000. And the plan is today to, at the very least, get to the Ivory Coast, which is going to be over here. Now, there is a secondary plan, which is to get to Ghana. So our initial plan is to get to Abidjan in the Ivory Coast. Our secondary plan, if we have time, is to get to Ghana. And I forgot to fuel up, didn't I? Yes, we're gonna have to do a fuel stop in probably Monrovia or Abidjan. Just get this full up. Hey Mark, dealing with quite a lot of turbulence today. Project Fly is working, so no doubt Simulator Gaming's watching everything that's going on in close to real time on Project Fly. How's it going? It's going good. How's it going with you? Okay, I don't trust this. Anti-ices are coming on. It's claiming we got 59 minutes left on this flight, 58. Which is actually a bit more than I bargained for. Aim at cruising at about 200 knots. Actually, 190 will be fine. Just try and bring the time en route down a bit. So you might be seeing little specks appearing and disappearing really quickly on the windshield here. That is rain. We're somehow flying through at 15,000 feet. So we're now at cruise power and cruising altitude. I would prefer to be going a bit faster. I'm just seeing if there's a speed bug anywhere here. No. So we're just going to bring this up manually to 190-ish, and let the plane try and hold that. There we go. True airspeed of 240 knots. But that is with a 13 knot headwind. Could I try climbing and hoping for better weather? How high do I reckon those clouds are? Conditions. I don't want a station, I want your current position. Scattered 12, scattered 2500 cumulonimbus. Oh no. That explains the turbulence. We got cumulonimbus. Technically we shouldn't even be flying through this. I mean, this red patch over here, that is a no-fly zone. That is something you do not want to fly through unless it's absolutely necessary, so you have to vector yourself around that weather. We're only going through what looks to be green. Yeah, we're not even actually getting any weather on the radar here. So here's something that I haven't really covered in these streams before, is the weather radar and how to read it and what I'm looking for with this. Because I am reading this and getting an idea of what the weather's like. So, where it's just showing the ground here, the topographical, where it's... We'll turn off topo for a second. Where it's black, that's no weather really showing up. Which is in theory great, but in practice, as you can see, there can be weather there. Where it's green is... there is weather. And it's looking like we're passing through a small cell, in about 50 miles time. No, about 20 miles time. No, 30 even. And yeah, the green bits are cells that are small and kind of not to be worried about. The yellow is... well, the light green is basically don't worry. The dark green is maybe you should be a tiny bit concerned. The yellow is... this is really borderline. Red is, please don't fly through this, and purple is, oh my god, why would you ever want to fly through this? So let's get the topo back on so that I can get an idea of terrain around here as well. And again, yellow is you probably shouldn't be flying there in the topo. Green is you're way above anything that's gonna matter, and blue is water. So yeah, I'm slightly concerned about that cell that we're going to fly through. If, what amounts to no weather is causing the turbulence we experienced on the way up. Those mainly wind turbulence, you know, we got 10 knots headwind, 13 cross. Not ideal flying weather by any means today. But hopefully by the time we get to Liberia, the weather will have cleared up a bit, and we'll get something that looks a bit more African. So apparently, apparently there's a lot of rain falling in Africa at the moment. Because I am using real weather. I am using active sky live weather, and yeah, we're having a few issues with rain. I'm going to have to monitor top of descent manually as well in this plane, which makes things interesting. And I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I'm gonna hold out hope that the weather does clear up, because I get the feeling this is just a hey Dagmar. I get the feeling this is just a rather large storm, and it's not even really a storm if it's green cells. It's just a rather large patch of rain showers and general weather going on. It is starting to clear up around here, but we do still have more cells up ahead, and these are cumulonimbus, which I shouldn't be flying through. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not entirely sure which, this is going to be a bit of a weather-heavy stream. We're going to go to the default topic of conversation for all humans everywhere, which is the weather, because that's what's going to be affecting the stream the most today. I wasn't anticipating the storm that I did some circus last night. I wasn't anticipating the storm to still be here, to be quite honest. If I go to... nope. If I go to windy maps... wind.com, rain, thunder... go down to Africa... oh... God... Okay, that's not promising. Oh dear. So I've just gone on to Windy Maps, which is weather forecasting. If I'm arriving in about an hour, I go for GFS for a better idea. I might not be able to make it to Ghana today. Or I might not. Oh dear, the route to Abidjan. What route am I taking to Abidjan? Please tell me it's northern route. It is northern route. I might need to change my flight plan for the second leg. Let's see, my route would take me kind of there. Whereas ideally I'd want to be going kind of up there and then skirt around the outside, but that'd lengthen it. Yeah, we're not going to have very good weather for this leg at all. In fact, it's getting clear up a bit as we get towards Monrovia. But then on the way to Abidjan, it's going to actually get a lot worse. Just looking at the weather forecast and the current weather conditions over there. ECMWF is showing that it's going to be as bad the whole way to Monrovia, and then clear up by Abidjan. What about in an hour's time? Much the same. So this isn't going to clear up until... Oh wow, it's not going to clear up for a while. Whoa, okay, I'm really glad that I'm not flying over there anytime soon. So tomorrow, the east coast of Africa is going to get pounded by over by Mogadishu in Kenya. Is going to get completely pounded by a storm. Good lord. I'm hoping that we start getting some tailwinds, but I'm not. That's not a very strong hope. That's not an expectation. We are very much kind of in the midst of a storm right now, and while there are clear areas, that's going to be the exception rather than the rule, I'm afraid. It's going to be very overcast for the stream. I'm going to see if I can get this up to 20k. 24,000 feet might give us a better idea. Let's go flight level change at 190. See if we can't get better weather a bit higher up, and maybe even break through the clouds, or at least get a tailwind. Downside is if there is a tailwind up here, it'll mean that there's going to be some wind shear going on. I honestly wasn't expecting to see rain until we got back into Northern Europe. And even then, I'm expecting Northern Europe in probably July time, maybe August, September. We got ice. We have ice detected, but the anti-ice is doing well. We seem to have broken through the majority of the clouds now, which is good. And the... Oh... Okay, so we are passing through severe icing conditions. This was on the... Oh my god, look at that cell over there. That is dangerous to fly through. That's huge. And can I get more detailed weather as we go out a bit further. Yeah, this it seems is the yeah, this is the cell I was worried about passing through, so it looks like we're actually through the worst of it now. And yes, thank you. I'm aware ice is detected. There's not a whole lot I can do. I've got the anti-icing on. The ice protection on. It's just gonna be a thing. We have picked up some icing, it's just gonna stay there. This is, yeah, definitely... I'm glad that I logged off ATSIM, because this is not the kind of weather conditions where I'd want to be limited by traffic control, honestly. I'm not confident or competent enough to try and deal with this at a steady altitude. I prefer to... it's much easier to just climb out of it. It's looking like the weather up here is going to be a bit nicer, though. Am I taking you on holiday? I guess. Would you like to go on a holiday to Liberia? We've got an estimated 151 to our next point, which is Matru. The next point after that is actually going to be the VR at the airport. Which I could tune into nav radio if I wanted to. Yeah, Sky Vector, come to me 113.8. 113.8. And can I... No. No, not that. PFD DME 1. 138 nautical miles from the airport. Traveling at Mach 0.44, we'll say. And that Mach number is actually going to increase as we go higher, because there's going to be slightly less air resistance. One lake is one storm. Yeah, this is... Not sure what's going on with this window, by the way. I'm glad that we've broken out of the cloud layer. Let's just bring it up to 23,000. It's going to descend a small bit here, but that's fine. Is it going to descend? Ah, screw it, let's bring it all the way up to 24. We're going to be quote-unquote turning in 9 seconds. We're actually going to be continuing on the same track of 137 degrees. And we have, in fact, I've just realized, killed most of the headwind by climbing out through the clouds, by breaking through. That is decidedly what I wanted to be seeing. Hey, Odge. So, we can stay up here until 60-ish miles out, which, granted, isn't going to be very long. I want to descend about 60 miles out. And let's get Avital up here real quick. To get information on our destination. We have arrival procedures. We have a Tecto Arnav. We have Tecto Matru Arnav arrivals, in fact. So if I check the weather, I can actually get going on the arrival already. Robert's thunderstorm. Oh God, you're annoyed. Is it something I did? 170 at 8, and approach. We'll have to go RNAV 22 with 170 winds. So let's go arrival, and we're going to be using the Matru. Is it just the Matru arrival? It's literally just the Matru arrival. for runway 22 and seriously? Flight plan direct Randy, please. Oh, I've disabled nav. Yes, direct Randy, please. Let's see what fresh hell awaits us in this direction. Got clouds above, clouds below. Any clouds ahead? Not looking like it. This is looking promising so far. I'm having to monitor a lot more than I usually do. Usually I'll just monitor chat and be done with it, but yeah, today I'm having to monitor active sky and stuff like that as well, so it's task saturation is potentially a very big thing that'll happen later on this stream, especially if the weather deteriorates more. Oh, Jay, I figured out why you're annoyed. That's fine going, well, I'm 9,000 feet above where I'd like to be. Do we have any altitude limitations here? I've just realized this is going to be a thing I'll need to know. So we're going 2-2, which means we're going to Ellen. 3,100, which means we need to be 3,100 by Ellen. Is there VNAV in this plane? Yes. Enable VNAV. Hey, OJX Pulse. Flight plan, I want... How do I access VNAV? VNAV. Let's say grave at having to come up with a profile here, and this isn't going to work very well. We've got 7 miles between Gray and Ellen, which means we want to be at about 7,000 by Gray. 31 and a half. Oi, you get. Want to be at about 7,000 by here. Okay, there we go. In fact, could I have just done this at Ellen and just hit enter? Yeah, let's clear the limitation there. Okay, there we go. We now have a descent profile engaged. And I want VNAV. VNAV. Oh. Altitude down to 3,100. And VNAV. I'm supposed to be at 13.3 already. So we are way above profile. Vertical speed. We'll go down to 1500 feet per minute. So we'll just let our throttle handle that. Get our heading bug in. Heading bug is going to need to be over here somewhere. And for some reason the RNAV approach is loading into this plane, which is irritating. I may need to try and vector myself to the runway. But I can close that. I've just gone through Randy. Oh, hang on. No. VNAV. And Alt hold. There's a reason behind this. I've just realised that we've just hit Randy and not Gend. Barbecue pit got run over by an 18-wheeler. Not good. So we're gonna cruise here at 22,800, I guess, for a bit. It's a video, Hodge. I think it's a video. So I think that shape there, that kind of hexagon, is our top of descent. And oh god, look at the radar. We're going to be skirting some really questionable weather. This picture video is too big. Oh, okay. And in fact, we're already kind of worryingly close to clouds. Hello there, cloud. So yeah, we're just gonna leave this cruising here. We are getting a contrail, it's just that it's way below the plane because of the angle of the engine. And yes, thank you, X-Plane, for having weird and wonky weather. There's the sun, by the way. Let's see if we can get a really cool screenshot of the sun just peeking out from behind a cloud. Probably not, but let's get a nice screenshot here of that. Nice plane. The Cirrus Jet. It is a very nice plane. It's very easy to fly. Super low wings, V-tail, central engine. Don't really need to worry too much about torque pull. Autopilot handled most of everything. And the landing gear is very forgiving. Plus it's got the G1000, it's got an X-Rad, it's got basically everything you want to be having in Alright, plane, let's just set VDAF path up there. Hey Nick! Yeah, it's got pretty much everything you'll be wanting, and it's you know, explain default. I just wish that it had Navitab integration. Like, maybe... I don't even know where they put it. Maybe over here? Put in Navitab, or Avitab integration. But that's just me being me. I'm wanting Avitab in everything. So, I want to, just for my own curiosity, have a look and see if there's anything new on the forums today. All downloads index. Can you do something, please? I mean, you can do a lot of things. If it's just going to be trolling, then I'm going to say no, though. Sky Europe livery, V-Flight Air, Cirrus. Livery. Prague Airport. I'll need to download that for later. Sovereign class light boat. A319. US Bangla 737-800. I'll look at that. Sim Toolkit Pro for X-Plane 11. I'll look at that. Everyone Alpha Blue. That's for the Canada Premier. Concorde. Why are so many people making skins for that Concorde? It doesn't really work. So there, I think, is the weather system we're heading into. Yeah, straight up ahead is the weather system we're heading into, so I'm gonna potentially be quite quiet as we come in for our arrival, approach, and landing, because I am very concerned about the NEXRAD readings. Even though they're green, which in the likes of a 737 would literally just be you ignore them. I am slightly concerned because it's much smaller, much lighter, and much more susceptible to the weather. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on what actually is going on here. Oh my god, London is just full of planes. Scenic. How are you doing with that weather? Fairly good. Just gonna bring this up and squish it down a bit so I can just... Well, that looks horrific. There we go. Just so I can keep an eye on it at all times. Coming up top of descent now. And I'm hoping the plane decides it wants to descend immediately on top of descent and not have me doing weird and wonky stuff to get it descending. There's path. Nope, it wants me to do weird and wonky stuff. Let's get it into vertical speed mode. And start heading it down. VNAV? Oh, I know what the problem is. I forgot to reset the altitude. It wouldn't descend on VNAV because it didn't have a path down to the altitude. So vertical speed, and we'll just start going down at about 2,000 feet per minute for now. Till it intersects V path. Simulate, hello. Cannot drag to different screen. It causes hilarious amounts of lag. We're gonna be flying straight through that cell, and that is concerning. Let's go down a bit faster than that. Engine spool back now to idle. V-path coming in. And hopefully we'll get V-path engaged. Fantastic. And altitude hold is armed at 3100. Our QNH in not in Abidjan, in Not Freetown. Monrovia is 1010. Surface winds 170 at 8. 2925. Thunderstorms. Just double check. 1717. 170 at 8. 999. Broken 18. Few. 26 cumulonimbus. 2925 Q 1010. Remark cumulonimbus everywhere. Okay, this is... yeah, concerning. And we're heading straight into cumulonimbus, which is both dumb and dangerous. Can I change my speed hold, please? No. 190 is going to be fine until we actually get onto final. I'm going to have to hand fly final. That's not good. Because for some reason the... oh wait, no. Approach. RNAV 22 from Ellen. Minimums will be on, and there'll be Barrow. Minimums for RNAV 22 are... oh, actually, Jenny, that's fine. Minimums are... LNAV VNAV 570. So, it's going to be a little bit of a while scrolling up. For 570. And we'll load that in. Once we get close to Ellen, we can then activate the approach. And we can slow down on the way at some point. Caps, by the way, are alive if we need it. Or is alive if we need it. Shouldn't need it, but concern is always going to be there. By the way, yeah, the CAPS is Cirrus aircraft parachute system. That is literally a parachute if I ever need it, which I shouldn't. The only way that I'd need it is we run out of fuel, or we have some sort of massive icing stall, which we got plenty of fuel for landing at least. And we shouldn't get too much icing. I've got all de-icing on. Flaps are up currently. We're too high speed for flaps. We are 3 minutes out from Gende, or Gende. 11 knot head, 11 knot cross. In terms of winds, 52.5 miles out from the airport. Minimum set. I should have actually turned off my landings. I can turn them off for now. Minimums are set. Target altitude 3100 feet is set. And airspeed is good for now. I'll need to knock that back in a little while, but for now it's good. Only major concern, and it is a major concern, it's not even minor, is the weather. And there's the rain coming back, so we'll probably get an icing warning fairly soon. But I do have all ice protection on. It's all I can do. If we still ice up with ice protection on, CAPS is available if necessary. Outside temperature is minus 6 degrees Celsius. Once it hits plus 6, then I can disable the anti-ice. And we are relatively good. Just notice the COM1 is actually set wrong. Just in case I want to go back on VATSIM for the next leg. Hey, Woodshed. It's always a good practice to have VATSIM set up so 122.8 is at least prepared in COM 1. It's coming down through rain. Again, there is a storm ongoing in Monrovia that is of definite concern, because that is going to be some quite bad turbulence. It's going to be moderate to severe. And speak of the devil, yeah, that was moderate turbulence. Hoping it's not please ignore the raindrops going through this compass. Hoping it's not severe turbulence. Hoping it's only light to moderate at worst. But judging from the amount of water shooting back the plane, it is going to be quite bad in Monrovia. And on that note, I suppose I should do an announcement for the... How many passengers can this thing hold? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 5 passengers, maybe 6. Watch Interstellar, I already have, it's a good movie. So... Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. Your captain speaking. We are on approach now, and well, on our arrival into Monrovia. We should be on the ground within the next 20 minutes to half hour. The weather in Monrovia is not very good, I'm afraid. There's a bit of a thunderstorm. We're expecting some light to moderate turbulence on the way in. And temperatures to be expected are about 29-30 degrees Celsius with a light wind. So the only concern is going to be the thunderstorm that's ongoing, which might ruin your day, I don't know. Hey guys, sit back, relax, get those seatbelts fastened, because this is going to be spicy. We're heading into Liberia. I'm flying straight through a storm. No bing bong button in this. If I was flying a 7.3, I would have hit the bing bong button to do that. Come down to 12,000 feet now. I'm going to turn on the landing lights. And imagine I've turned on the the fasten seatbelt signs and just haven't turned them off ever. Because I do not trust this plane right now. Would I do this in real life? What, fly a plane? Yes, I'd love to. Would I fly straight into a storm in real life? No, and no pilot would. There's no pilot in the world would do something this... Well... In a passenger jet, this is nothing. In a very small... Like the weather? In this plane, this style of plane, probably not. In real life, I've actually flown through worse in like a 737, and there's no issue. I've flown like if I was flying in real life, I'd want to do a VFR on a nice sunny day, like 20 degrees Celsius, and light winds, maybe you know, headwind just for takeoff, and then tailwinds all the way to where I'm going. And generally speaking, nothing of any concern whatsoever. I wouldn't like to be as concerned as I am today about air temperatures. We're coming up near 6 degrees. I'm going to keep anti-ice on until 10 outside air temperature, just to be on the safe side. In theory, 6 degrees is the cutoff for icing, but I'm just going to keep it on a bit longer than necessary. Coming through some turbulence now, which is of mild concern. You can hear the engine spooling up and down. I think an hour's flight is like €1,000 or something. It's significantly less than that, I'll have you know. I have done some looking. I know for a pilot's license, an ATPL, and type rating on an 80 or 72 600. It is, that's for training from 0 to type rated and fully licensed. It is €78,000. Not gonna say where, but there is a place that does a type rating for an ATR 72 from 0 flying experience to type rated on ATR 72 with an ATPL for €78,000 over the course of 18 months. And while I would absolutely love to do that because I love turboprops, I don't have the money to afford that. Low-level clouds there, that's honestly not the most concerning thing in the world. These giganto clouds surrounding the plane are much more concerning. We are currently, it looks like we're actually inside the yeah, we're actually inside the cell and we're coming up to some what I would term moderate turbulence. You'd make that back and more in your first or at least second year. You vastly overestimate how much money pilots make, I think, Greg. Yep, that's moderate turbulence. Holy cow! So look at the indicator here. This is what moderate turbulence looks like. The plane is struggling to keep airspeed, struggling to stay going in the right direction. This is only dark green. So imagine what the yellow's like, and the red. So we're through that cloud now. We've got the broken clouds below us. We're still at the, it's in the overcast cloud layer. That's Visionjet, your mom's cousin's pilot driver for Cathay Pacific. He's only just retired. Cathay Pacific is a bit of an odd one, because if you're working out of the UK, it's almost all long hauls, so you'd be a much more senior pilot. EasyJet again is, I would say, a medium haul airline. Something like an ATR 72 is all short haul. It's all kind of short hops. Obviously, with the training centre that I know of being in Ireland, it would be ATR 72 for Aer Lingus, which means that you'd basically be flying to the UK and back, or around Ireland in a turboprop, and you wouldn't make huge money out of it. It's only once you get into medium to long hauls and you're a much more senior pilot that you actually start making decent money. Plus, you've got to factor in the fact that you're a pilot, you're going to have layovers in certain cities. Flights for Hong Kong, Australia, that's still a long haul. But, you know, you look at, you're going to have layovers in different cities, which means you got to pay for hotel rooms, you got to pay for food, you got to pay for drinks and dry cleaning and stuff, and suddenly the amount that you make is vastly reduced because of the on-the-job costs. So we are 5 miles out from Grey, which makes us 13 miles out from Jenny. Yeah, people, I mean, zero disrespect to pilots, because I'd love to be one, but people, I think, overestimate how much pilots earn real world, because they hear these stories of pilots making six figures, and they're like, oh my god, that's so much money, and then they forget, or conveniently ignore, or don't realize that from whatever pilots make, you know, a decent amount of it's going to go to hotel costs and car rentals and further training and stuff like that, and that money goes away very quickly. Real world pilots probably make a bit more than like a sales rep for a company. The real advantage is that pilots get to fly places all the time, and they get the first point on our arrival is actually Ellen, so I can now, our approach is, yeah, we can activate approach. And I can enable approach mode. So we got approach mode armed. Do we have any minimum altitudes at Weifu? Weifu mandatory 1500 by the looks of it. Before traffic along coastline up to 500 feet. Not authorized below 11 Celsius or above 41 Celsius, we're fine there. Transition flight level is 50, so we need to transition over to 1010. So let's just reset our barrow here. Transition to 1010. And we need to be at 1500 by Weifu. Let's just see if that's in the flight plan. Yes, and active. Fantastic. So 3100 by Ellen, which we're gonna hit. This approach climbs 3000 feet direct to Ender and hold. That is fine. I shouldn't need to take a mist, but I will bear that in mind. I want to bring down the airspeed a bit if I can. Yeah, we'll just take the auto throttle off for now. Just idle down. Just to bleed the speed. I need to now set the altitude to 1500. And we'll go flight level change at 162. Should go flight level change at 170. And arm VNav again. Different companies that have different policies. Yeah. For sure. I'm just letting the V-path come in here. Intentionally kind of holding just above our V-path. Okay, V-path is in. So I can bring the speed down a bit more. Bring it down to about 160, and then we'll start holding that speed. We do need the RNAV arrival, we do need a precision approach. Oh! We got a breakout coming on here. We got a whole buttload of trees. If there's any time to learn to fly, to be now. Yeah. Definitely, there is a shortage of pilots currently. A lot of airlines are looking for new pilots. We should get our glide path coming in now. We should get the airport in sight in a moment. Do we have field in sight? Do we have field in sight? Field is not in sight. Because we're not on path currently. That said, in these conditions the field should stand out, especially with the vegetation and whatnot in the local area. Come on, field, appear. Field is in sight. I could, if I wanted to, go visual, but we're going to stay on precision approach for now. We will be at 1500 for... Whoops. Just put in... it'll be at 1500 until Jenny. Which is coming up now in a moment. And yeah, you can see why I'm slightly concerned about the weather, because there was just a lightning strike ahead. Back at JFK and the A380 European Monster, very nice. Presume you went from Munich with Lufthansa. That would be one of their A380 routes. Echo Delta Delta Mike to Kilo Juliet Fox Kilo. Frankfurt. Ah. Because they also fly the 380 out of Munich. Do nothing taking off or landing. I can imagine, because it's so redonkulously huge. It basically takes off at no speed whatsoever. There's a glide path coming in. So I'm going to just start bringing the speed down. And go flaps 1 now. Glide path is engaged. We are now at full VNAV. Absolutely woodshed. Absolutely 100%. You want to get into basically a cadetship program. And I'm not sure if I've aged out of those. So 1000 indicated, we're gonna go with gear down. The minimums, I'm gonna take manual control. I'm gonna leave until minimums. Just due to, I need to set my altitude for a go around potentially. Okay, gear warning sound is gonna be going off now. And below 110 we set full flaps. Flaps can go full. Throttle can go up. Okay, just want to hit a speed throttle where I'm stable on speed. There we go. And autopilot can come off. Got a headwind, that is perfect. We've got a few knots of crosswind, so now I'm going to come in at an angle here. 500. Didn't hear minimums call. $400. Oh, that lightning is scary. This is not whether you want to be trying to land in. 200 feet. Happy's 4 white. Come on, get happy. I feel like I'm low now. Okay, just hold this attitude and let the plane come down itself. Hold, hold, hold. Perfect. We went off the off the taxiway slightly there, but do you know what? Considering the weather conditions, I'll call that a good landing. taking the weather into account, that's... Yeah, it's a landing you can walk away from. That's a good landing. So now, that is terrifying. Just park up on this apron here. And I am going to need to get some fuel. So let's refuel the plane real quick. Balance the fuel, just max out the fuel. Max out the payload, wait, no. Put like 1500 in there. Apply changes. We're now heavy boys. Flaps can come. I'll just leave them at one slot. Right, next flight plan is going to be put in a moment. I'm gonna stay offline just basically due to the weather. So next flight plan is we need to clear this entire flight plan. Clear the arrival, clear that, clear... Yep, no, that's fine. We are now going... Romeo... Oscar Bravo... Rob... Liberia... to... I'm just gonna set some... I'm not going to set this full route, but I'm going to set enough that it'll follow it. Retam. Oh. We may need to do a diversion on this route. And then we'll set Bussot. This might be the first time we actually need to divert off route here, so this could get interesting. Bussot, and we'll just go to Abidjan direct. And the Ivory Coast. And our arrival airport is DIAP. Yep. That is exactly where we're going. Right. Let's get the brakes off. And start the most terrifying taxi since the start of this stream. I don't like this weather at all. I am not happy with this weather. Come on. Get moving. Oh, the plane is a fat boy. Why, pray tell, is it not showing me the airport? Have I landed in the... No, I have landed at the correct airport. It's just not showing me the chart, which is odd. Hey, I'm definitely at the airport. Hey, MJ. Let's get moving here. 50% throttle just to keep taxi speed. Good lord. BA doesn't connect course. So does Aer Lingus, but it's still €78,000. I presume that 78,000 is very heavily subsidized, mind you. So as you can see, there is a bit of rain here in Monrovia. Where I'm heading now, Abidjan in the Ivory Coast, or Cote d'Ivoire, depending on which language you want. Well, the official name for the country is Cote d'Ivoire, but in English, for some reason, people still call it the Ivory Coast. You watch the stream, it's relaxing. Not relaxing for me, it's terrifying. Weather like this actually scares me to fly in. Because I don't know what to expect. You can kind of see that the wind is affecting the plane here quite a lot because I'm having to, even on taxi, make some corrections. Let's get up to the whole short point. Overshot it a bit, but that's fine. Strobes can go on. We'll just turn on all the anti-ice we have because we're gonna need it. At least it's only a simulation. This is true. And Project Fly, I need to do some stuff here real quick. Progress complete. Bookings set active. Fly now. You can see that the rain is falling quite heavily. This is at half throttle. I don't know if we're gonna get off the runway. I'm gonna have to go full length here. I'm gonna have to go full length with this runway. I don't know if this thing will take off. Without further ado, back timer reference. Start the timer. Let's get this thing up to full throttle, and we're on our way to Abidjan. Anything happens below 100 knots, I'll just park it. This feels like I'm trying to take a 737 off. This is a heavy boy. I'm gonna take off at 100 knots. Just gonna have light forward pressure on the stick for now. There's 100 knots. Rotate. Come on. You can do it. Gear up.
Flight not started.
Oh, this is a fat boy. Nav, flight director. We're gonna aim again at 24,000 feet. And flight level change. I'm gonna hand fly up to 10,000 feet here. And I actually want my flight level change at 110. So we'll say 150. So I'll just pull the stick down a bit. $3,000 for new pilot per year. Again, I've apparently disabled autopilot. I want flight director, nav, and flight level change set to 150 knots. Flaps can come fully up. It's looking like the weather's gonna behave, so I'm just gonna get the autopilot on. It for some reason won't let me trim. Get that closed, and oh boy, this is gonna be spicy. I may, it really depends on what happens around here. I may need to divert around right arm. So I'm gonna have to have a close eye on the weather. In real life, you have to stay 25 nautical miles away from a red cell, so I will be keeping an eye out for when the red cell appears, if it appears, and I will force vector around that if needs be. So again, we have some light turbulence going on. That is very light turbulence, not of too much concern. And we'll break through the clouds in a few minutes. Then we'll be up 24,000 feet to Abidjan. I did just see a lightning strike, which doesn't do much for my confidence, but I can hope that it all ends well in the end. One can hope that it won't go horrifically wrong. But in weather like this, that's not light turbulence, that's becoming moderate. That's some bouncies. I'm just gonna turn off the strobe because it gets really annoying when it flashes like that. First time watching Flight Sim, you've picked a good day to start. We're currently flying directly at a storm. And that's moderate turbulence. Actually bordering on heavy. Yeah, the plane's struggling to keep control right now, but it is doing it. Hey! I am dealing with storms today. Turns out there's some rain in Africa, and I bless them. I also curse them, because holy crap, this is making the stream a lot more interesting than I'd like. Come on. Come on, autopilot. This purple is where the yellow is supposed to be. And, the plane is struggling. Getting battered around, absolutely. Can I just hit manual toga? No, FMS toga? I can't enable toga. That's fine. Let's try and at least hold 150. Non-VATSIM, no. I figured with the weather and the fact that I'm still not confident, it was better that I didn't. But definitely with the weather, because like if I was in air traffic control, I would not clear these flights. The plane is too small to deal with the weather. Even, you know, 8 knot, actually no cross, 3 head, and just plain up and down drafts. It is struggling. Let's get the auto throttle off and just go toga. Actually, I really shouldn't do that. Let's get the engine temperature down below the tick. That's where we should be currently. That might stabilize flight a small bit. All anti-ice is on. Outside air temperature is 8 degrees. We're now in the range of icing conditions. And we've broken through the first set of clouds. That's good. That should reduce the turbulence a bit. Get airspeed up to 200. This is the kind of weather that I would not go on VATSIM with. In a plane this small, I'd want to be in at least like an I'd probably do it in the Challenger, but to be very safe on VATSIM, I'd go with like the E175, E195. But I am very, like, just for reference, the weather's moved south of the waypoint. Good. Just for reference, I am keeping an eye on these cells here because that is a waypoint we need to hit, and these are some quite significant cells. Hence why I got the 25-mile range ring up. I need to keep a lot in mind right now. And task saturation is a bit of a thing because I'm trying to think of what way I would like to divert if necessary. And I'm thinking a north diversion by probably about 25-30 degrees, and it'll probably end up, if I need to do it, being about a 50-mile diversion. But I want to stay out of the worst of this. So I'm not even going to pretend like I want to go to 15,000 this time. We're just going to go straight up to 24,000, hope that we're not in the weather there. Which I know is a very boring topic, the weather, but it is of utmost importance with a plane this small. Just fly from place to place. There is a general route that I'm following. On that note, I need to update the map. This is a world tour, like I'm going around the world to every national capital. And so far I've got most of Western Europe done. I've got Ireland, UK, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Andorra, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Gibraltar, Algeria, Tunisia, Malta, Libya, Chad, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Western Sahara, Senegal, Cabo Verde, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Conakry, Sierra Leone. We've just hit Liberia. We're heading now to Cote d'Ivoire, and maybe Ghana, because from what I'm looking, customized planes, etc. You can't really customize the planes, but you can fly whatever the hell you like. What's the weather like between Abidjan and Accra? Not entirely. Oh no, that's tomorrow's forecast. Yeah, not entirely terrible. I'm actually going through the worst of it now, between Monrovia and Abidjan. I flew to Athens last night, I'll have you know. I flew into the airport in Athens last night in a 737. Which I think was basically borderline range. Obviously 12,000 feet caps is active if needed. Well, climb thrust. Climb thrust, please. It's looking like the weather's moving to the south, which is definitely good. I mean, I have completely jammed this plane full, throwing double max landing weight, which means I will need to burn off a whole bunch of the fuel. But we should be good to land in Abidjan in probably an hour or so's time. With the weather, it's going to slow us down significantly. Like, we got a 15 knot headwind currently. True airspeed's only 249 knots. We are going a lot slower than I would like, a lot slower than we're capable of. But weather is always going to be, it's always going to play a role and have a factor in airspeed. In fact, Project Flight saying we're going to be an hour and a half more. Yeah, I'm not going to make it as far as Accra today. That is just not something that's possible. Which sucks, because I actually planned the next legs after Accra. How far is this? Like 418. Depending on a few things, I might just gonna bring this up with the admins. See you, dude. I might do the next leg tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. Because I don't want to, like, compete with VF's charity stream. I don't want to try and compete with charity. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do for the weekend streams. Oh, this plane is struggling to gain altitude now. We're 100% in 1, 100% in 2. Cannot go much higher than this. This 15 knot headwind is killing me. We're only 16 minutes into this flight. I mean, we are gaining about 1,000 feet per minute. We're 15.6, 16... No, we're gaining slightly less than 1,000 a minute on average. Do I want to just level off here at 16,000? Let's level off at 16,000. Hey, Volstrop. Don't worry, you've still got plenty of time left on this leg. The ETA you're seeing is actually an hour behind Irish time, which is about 1957 Zulu. It's gonna be nearly 9 o'clock by the time we land. Okay, the rain at least is cleared up. We can get into a good cruise here. And go cruising as fast as this plane will allow me. Yeah, let's just go go full throttle. The best thing I can do is just go as fast as possibly can, because I don't want to. I don't want to be streaming till 9 o'clock. That's a bit late for me. So we're gonna let this thing cruise up as fast as it wants. I do have the flaps up. Flaps are up. Landing light can come off. Strobe light can come back on. Yeah, we're just gonna let this thing cruise as fast as it wants to. Hoping for Mach 0.5 if possible, but I don't think that's gonna be all that realistic. I really just want to try and counter that 15 knot headwind by going as quickly as I possibly can to bring my ETA down closer to about 8:30. Because currently it's 10 to 9. I want to drop my ETA on Project Flight down to ideally under 60 minutes. Ideally under 50. So we're just going to let this turbulence again. Coming down closer to the times that I'd like to see. And we need to divert. We need to put in a diversion here. That is too close to... I didn't use my graphics card. None yet. Yeah, I've got to divert north just to keep away from the red. Once we finish the diversion, will be the other side of Ritam. And this is going to be a very lengthy diversion. Because after that we'll just go direct to Bosat, and would I be better off putting in more of a diversion and then going direct for... yeah. Let's divert a bit farther north, go to about 060. Because if I go farther north and fly for, we'll say, 10 minutes. In this direction, 10-15 minutes, we should be good to get a direct to our next waypoint. That'll bring us in a good direction away from the worst of this storm. But the weather radar is telling me that I cannot go the planned route. There is zero chance of me going that planned route because it actually intersects some of the red. It's way too close to the... yeah, that's way too close to being on our route. So we are diverting north for weather. This is potentially going to be a very lengthy diversion. Because even at Bussat, there's still quite a lot of red. If I now go to about... yeah, if I just go to about there... Wants me to go 104, so that's... We're at 096. It should bring me roughly around the weather to the north of it. But mostly on course. So this weather being lengthy now. Like you can see that it basically extends out to Bussat. I can, in theory, continue along this path here. Nip down. Is that a wise route to be taking? I want to continue along this course for a while anyway, just to get around this main cell, and then I can nip down south. Just more red down here. I'm probably better off trying to get in between these two cells with this gap here. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, no, stop this. There we go. What is red? Dead. Basically, red is an area where you should expect severe turbulence, and it's just not something you want to fly into, which is why I'm currently the purple line and the white line with Britam and Bussat here. This is the planned track. The white plane looking thing here is the plane. You can see that I am diverting north of the weather. Just to try and get around the worst of it. Because even though the weather's entirely to the south, there is, I can see, a yellow spot just there, and I actually want to even avoid that where possible. So, that's the worst of the weather over there. That's where it's all red and green and yellow. That's what I'm avoiding. I'm going to continue on this route that is basically just following the route that I had planned, but probably about 10-15 miles to the north of it. I'm going to follow this until I need to potentially divert further or less. Diverge closer to Bussat over there. But for now, I'm happy being this distance. We're less than 25 nautical miles. If we were in a jetliner, I'd actually have had to divert earlier and further, but I'd also be flying higher and faster. So let's see if I can get up to, say, 26,000 with flight level change at 200. This is going to be a very severe jump here real quick. Airspeed hold 200. So this plane is going to go very vertical for a second here. Because I still have it firewalled. There's a very quick climb of probably about 1,000 feet. And now we're just going to hold a relatively steady climb the rest of the way up to 26,000. I want to... Ooh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to, if possible, try and climb over the weather, which... Honestly, cumulonimbus usually extend up to 42,000 feet. This thing has a flight ceiling of about 27,000, so we're going up as high as we can in this. I've just been handed my dinner, which is stuffed steak. Bacon. Dinner service? Exactly. Wouldn't be an international flight without a dinner service. Wouldn't be a flight sim stream without dinner service, to be honest. So yeah, that's the really bad weather they're avoiding. It is quite bad pretty much everywhere at the moment, so there's no winning for me, there's no going through some good weather. Even at lower altitude. Can I go direct bus out from here? What would that look like? Not direct retam, but direct bus out. What would that look like? Yeah, let's give this a try. Nav. We're gonna undivert, but go straight to Busav, which is our next waypoint. There is a reasonably decent chance that we'll end up going through a bit of red and have to just nudge it north or south a bit, but I'm willing to give it a try, just to speed this flight up. We'll actually hold at 20,000 feet. I am, as always, concerned about pretty much everything to do with this flight. This is going to be the day where I'm just concerned about everything flight related, because I wasn't anticipating a storm. And if we need to divert somewhere, we need to divert somewhere and not land at my planned airport. There'll be no turning back. If we divert, I could probably divert to Accra in Ghana, but that'll be another hour or so's flight. So, if in the situation we need to divert, I will look around the area for airports that are possible to fly to. Where the weather isn't being reported as being terrible. I didn't actually think, as much planning as I do for this, which, you know, if you hit exclamation mark route, you can see every airport I want to land at. You know, you can see probably 300 plus airports that I'm planning on landing at during this world tour, and it's going to be a long-term thing. I wasn't anticipating having a leg in May in Africa, having thunderstorms. That wasn't something, because we're just south of the Sahara. If you go probably 300, 400 miles due north of where we are currently, you're in the Sahara Desert. I wasn't anticipating having thunderstorms and concerns about turbulence. Well, turbulence, yes. Thunder, lightning, no. And just how severe the weather is, wasn't anticipating that. So it is something that has kind of snuck up on me. I was anticipating like having some issues around the US where like I could hit the wrong place during tornado season or hurricane season and straight up have to cancel some of these planned streams just through bad timing. Or even around Japan, get a typhoon or something where I'd need to just not stream or do another set of flights for a stream. Wasn't anticipating having to divert north in Africa to try and get around thunderstorms. So, things get interesting very quickly in flight sims. But once we get to Abidjan, assuming we survive the descent and the rest of the journey, that'll be the end of the stream. We're still probably an hour or so out from there. Project Flight probably reckons an hour 3, yep. So no, that was a different flight I was looking at entirely. 49 minutes to Abidjan, which brings us up to 8:45-ish? Without looking at this 8:40 Irish time. Yeah, not ideal. But we can definitely get this flight done. If needs be, I can force insert some good weather. In the meantime, I saw that. That would be cheating. Yes, it would. We're coming up to a particularly bad patch, it seems. The problem is, Volts, I'm going to be very blunt here. I don't know African airspace well enough to figure out an airport to divert to. I mean, I could, I guess, divert to one of the other capitals of, one of the other quote-unquote capitals of the Ivory Coast. So I could divert north to Yamoussoukro, or further north to Bouaké. But I'd really like to land in Abidjan. Diverting west isn't an option. The entirety of the west of the Ivory Coast is pretty much covered in this one storm. Even Yamoussoukro is borderline. Bouaké would be an option for sure. Yeah, if it needs to happen, it needs to happen, because the only options that I really have for a diversion are probably about an hour. Even from, like, even within the Ivory Coast, it's probably still going to be like an hour, half an hour to an hour's flight. So I'd much prefer to not divert and cheat the weather in than to divert and spend an hour that isn't, I would argue, isn't really necessary. Diverting the plane. How bad is the weather around here? So we've just gone through some green. Is that red directly on course? Yeah, it's not going to work the way that I want it to. I think there's a red patch directly on course ahead. Definitely some yellow. That is red directly on course, isn't it? So I might need to take manual control to try and not die if we do pass through a red patch, or to try and avoid it as close as I can. Not looking good, not looking good at all. What I'm going to do, just in the interest of making the stream a bit more viewable, is that, and just change the time. It's not going to change the weather at all, it's just going to change the time. Just so everything's a bit more watchable. Much as I like flying in real time, it does get quite awkward when it starts coming into nighttime. On streams at least. Especially when it's like overcast, because the way I explained depicts overcast weather is just by making everything black for a while. So it would literally be a case of like I'm coming into land and you can't see anything until about 200 feet. Especially if it's low vis. What's the Abidjan, is there a VOR I can use around here that would be useful nav to? Yamoussoukro VOR, is there an airport in Yamoussoukro? There is DIYO, okay, and Bouake has another airport, fantastic. What other airports are nearby? Just on the off chance that I need to divert. Nothing really near Abidjan. But let's tune in the Abidjan VOR here. It's nav 1. It is 114.3. It's not going to show up as the DME right now because we're a bit too far away from it, but it will in time. I am very concerned about that. It's definitely a red patch. It might even be black, which is the worst case scenario. How close are we in reality to this particularly bad patch? So this is real size. Coming through over the top of a green, I want to say. So I don't think we're gonna need to be worried about this initial red patch. It's this second one with a shadow that I'm concerned about. We're at 20,000 feet, 242 knots. It's Mach 0.53. We're 5 miles away from it. Is it visible ahead? No. I'm gonna just fly straight through the middle of it. Screw it. If we die, I have caps. I have caps if necessary. If control is lost, I'll kill throttle, kill the engine, and pull caps. Is there anything else I need to do? I'll pull down the gear as well, I'd have to do that. But yeah, if we lose control entirely, I'll pull caps and just let the plane come down on the chute. We're not over water or over land. We're we're pretty safe to do caps landing, if necessary. Here's the red patch now. Just coming up to it. inside and through. Fantastic, we're over it. We're over the weather. But oh no! Oh, there's no diverting around that. We're getting more of a headwind now as well, by the looks of it. 9 knot headwind. There's no diverting around that, we're just gonna have to go straight in the middle of it. Looks like Italy. It's about as scary as an angry Italian. But that's the level of scared I am right now. That is angry Italian levels of scary. Well, I'm enjoying the fact that I'm just ignoring any real-world issues, because there are some real-world issues in Sierra Leone, Liberia at the moment, as well as potential for issues in the Ivory Coast. It's the weather that is something that I can't avoid. So the weather is what's making this, I guess, interesting. So we got a 25 nautical mile range ring around us, and that's actually how far we could glide if we had to glide. If we lost engines now, we would end up landing somewhere in this green ring. And with the weather below us, it would not be very far. Like, the weather below us is just turbulence. So once we start onto our descent, and I will need to, I will actually let's get Avitab up. So look at there will be, because it's a major airport. DIAP, Abidjan, Fuchs, yep, that's the correct airport. So it's got one runway 0321. Hopefully it's not like a 30 knot crosswind. It shouldn't be. Arrival. Is there a Bussot arrival? Bussot? No. Is there one? Bussot. Bussot's gonna be up here somewhere. No, we got no arrivals in from there. That's kind of fine, I guess. Let's get the weather for Abidjan. Okay, so we will be making an approach for runway 21. And I'm just going to go straight to the ILS. Not Yankee. What's Zulu looking like? Zulu's from an 11-mile DME arc. That's a bit more practical. X-ray is... yeah, we'll use the X-ray directed from ACLOS 2200. So procedures, and we'll just go approach ILS 21 X-ray from ACLOS. Minimum Sparrow Alpha 200 at 11. So set 210 in here. 210. Activate. 172, 8 miles from ACLOS. And we can start programming in a few things here. Altitude will go down to 2,200 feet. VNAV path will be engaged. And we're gonna hope to high hell that we don't end up flying through something horrific here. Where's our top of descent at? I don't know. I'm not seeing a top of descent indicator anywhere. So it must be quite a distance out. Time to top of descent 20 minutes. Whew. So you've got 20 minutes of calm before the storm. Or on top of the storm, I guess. So what I've just done there is turned off anti-ice, turned nothing on over here. Anti-ice is off just so that it can, I guess, cool down a bit. You only need it pretty badly on descent, I think. We're going to get probably quite a lot of icing. Top of descent in about 20 minutes, there it is. And yeah, there is no avoiding these storms. We're just going to have to sit through them and hope that we don't die. That is about the sum total of what's going on right now. Is yeah, sit through storm, hope don't die. Hey, Headshot Master. As I've already said a couple of times, if we do end up dying, we can avoid a full death by hitting caps and bailing. That is really just a backup plan, though. How am I? I'm doing good. Very concerned about the weather in Sim. But other than that, I am good. We've got some pretty hefty storms going on throughout Africa today, so I'm just kind of dealing with it as it comes. And I'm looking ahead, and I'm seeing some gigantic cumulonimbus that are very scary looking. Those are some scary looking CBs. I can only hope they don't bring the kind of turbulence that I'm expecting them to bring. Because there's no climbing over those. There's no descending below them. Well, there is descending below them, but that'd probably make things worse because that'd then be in the really heavy bit of the storm. All I can do is, and I've just noticed that we've got a 10 knot headwind now. All I can do is keep barreling towards them as fast as I possibly can at Mach 0.52 and hope that we don't die. That is the sum total of my aim here, is don't die. Because yeah. I've got very limited skill, and I don't think it expands as far as I'd like it to for this. Here's the scary stuff coming up now. Looks like we're actually passing directly over... Oh my god, we're passing directly between two cells. And barreling directly towards... That's not the worst. The two cells that we've just gone between are actually worse than this one up ahead. But, just for safety's sake, let's get the anti-ice on. I'm feeling like we're gonna need ice protection heading into this. But on a more serious note, outside temperatures below -6, and there is, I would argue that is visible moisture in the form of clouds, so anti-ice is required. Therefore, anti-ice is on. I wonder, is that not that is not the yellow section I'm seeing? Is that this? Oh, never mind, it's gone now. What? Wait, what? The storm's dissipated. Just as we're about to hit the worst of it, the storm dissipates. Thank you, active sky. You weird piece of software. So that's what I was worried about a couple of minutes ago, and now we're in this bizarre area where for some reason there's a square with no weather. Why the hell? Active sky, what have you done? Well done. I've not done anything. I wish I did. There is a part of me that wishes I'd somehow managed to set Active Sky up to have this mystery box of perfect weather. But no, I didn't. That is actually just what Active Sky has decided to do. I mean, I still need anti-ice on because we are going through clouds and it is -20 outside. But yeah, we only got +5 ISA deviation. Interesting. Where's the top of drop? Or has that? There it is. It's 75 miles away still. Just under. Yeah, I didn't rig that. That actually just happened. I've just realised that I've misread what Ryan said. I thought he said well done, not well Dave. Hello, Ryan. I've also just realised I'm not a standard barrel. That's going to bring it down to 20,000 feet. Gear down, 210 max. We're above gear extension speed. 190 for 50%, 150 for 100%, so we'll call it. For flaps 1 will be 150 or below. Flaps 2, 110 or below. And go for full flaps landing because I don't trust the airport here. I'm going to presume it's going to be a wet surface. No precipitation reported, but there is cumulonimbus in the area. Partly cloudy weather with 10 k's of visibility, or 10 k's or greater. So in terms of the weather for landing is 200 at 7 knots. Greater than 10 kilometers visibility. A few clouds at 1,300. Temperature of 29 degrees, dew point of 25 degrees, QNH of 1010, and yeah, some light winds, which hopefully will actually be light instead of explains weird winds. Nice and warm, cloudy. It looks like the storm has actually dissipated over the airport in Abidjan. Good visibility, which means we should be good to go, but that is below 1,300 feet. Up to 1,300 feet we will have some cloud layer to contend with, but after that we should be good to get some semblance of a visual approach in. Also, the clouds are really pretty in X-Plane, and I really like how the clouds look, because these are, I think, default X-Plane clouds. At least I'm not running some add-on that tweaks the clouds, much as I'd like to be. I'm waiting on an email from you, AdSense, April 23rd. Yeah, they're running a bit late this month. I probably won't get until Monday now. I'm waiting on an email from AdSense telling me to check my recent payment, then I'll be able to start checking my bank account to see if I can in fact afford a brand new NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Strix 50C. So I am slightly excited for that. Not all that happy that it's gonna cost a hell of a lot of money, but so be it. Such are the pains that you have to deal with for a new graphics card, especially in the market where, thank you, Bitcoin scumbags, graphics card costs are just hilariously above what they should be. And they're probably not going to come back down to where they should be for another 10 years now. Because as soon as they start going down, people start buying them again, because they'll suddenly be affordable again, and it's going to be a vicious cycle for a little while. thanks by the way to those of you who do follow Andy and didn't point out that he's live, and those of you that didn't point out that VF's live. I do appreciate that very much so. I think those of you who are regulars here in the flight sim streams, or only come for the flight sim streams, I don't know, have by this point realised that I don't particularly care who's live and when. When I'm doing these, I just care that I get to play some flight sim and talk about planes. On that note, if you've been following the news today, you will know, probably now at least, that Boeing have, in theory, I'm gonna say this in theory because in practice it won't be fully done until they get recertified. Boeing have, in theory, finished the software upgrades on, or software updates on the 737 MAX series, or the 737 MAX family. Now, in practice, I'm not going to count those upgrades as actually being done and updates as being done until the FAA, Eurocontrol, and until they're past fit to fly again. Those updates are interim. Once the type rating is back in service, what's going on with the US and Boeing at the minute? I'm not sure what's going on with the US and Boeing. Oh no, this is what I'm talking about right now, Ryan, in fact. So what's going on with the US and Boeing is the 737 MAX. Boeing has completed, as far as they're concerned, actual completion, like I said, is going to require them to be certified to fly again. They've completed, as far as they're concerned, the software update and upgrade and whatever you want to call it for the 737 MAX, which was necessary because the MCAS system, which I can't remember what MCAS stands for. It does stand for something. The MCAS system was just not fit for purpose. You actually, if you were to buy a 737 MAX, you needed to buy an optional upgrade to actually get that working correctly, and even then it was a bit questionable, from what I understand. But for sure, there were 2 plane crashes caused by the MCAS system malfunctioning due to, or apparently caused by the MCAS system malfunctioning. The full reports aren't out yet. Due to unreliable airspeed data and angle of attack data being fed into the flight computers. And that was seemingly due to a bug in the software, which meant that it was reliant on an optional feature of the planes, which the 2 planes that went down didn't have. So the 737 MAX got grounded for the last, 2 months now? Month or 2, and Boeing have been hard at work trying to get software together that will remedy the problem, and the latest is they have sent that software to the FAA for certification. They will be running test flights on kind of a certification exempted 737 MAX to test that new software upgrade, and it'll be one that is in the same configuration as the 2 planes that went down. I would assume that would be the logical way to test it, because to fix a problem with a very specific setup of plane, specific configuration, you want to test it with that configuration, so they'll be probably running flights with that. And if the FAA certifies it, then the FAA will say, okay, these planes are now legal to fly in the US again, and then it'll go on to Boeing has a hell of a job ahead of it, because it's got to get the plane certified worldwide, not just by the FAA. In days gone by, if the FAA certified a plane to fly, it was fine worldwide. But the 737 MAX has been an exception because it got banned in individual airspaces before the FAA said this plane is no longer safe. In fact, the FAA were the last to say that. So, Eurocontrol and all the different airspace control groups. This is late, I know. We're coming up on our the first point of our final approach of the day. But yeah, the 737 MAX is going to be, I think, a pain for Boeing to get flying again. And is definitely going to make a quite large dent. Trying to reopen the airport in Sligo, you'll find that it probably never closed. It just became a non-towered airport or aerodrome for small aircraft and a VFR aerodrome. I'm presuming they're trying to reopen it for commercial purposes, which I don't think will work. I don't think a commercial airport in Sligo is the best idea. I mean, in that area already you have both Shannon and Knock airports. Alexander, no. Straight up no. Boeing's too big to fail. Boeing has... in the future? Possibly, but it'll take something a lot more severe than the 737 MAX. It would effectively take them releasing a plane that literally, like, if you turn it on, it explodes. I don't think Boeing could screw up to the point where it goes that wrong for them. Like, if they did, and I'm glad Airbus figured this out quickly enough that it didn't cause them too much issues. If they did what Airbus did and put all of their eggs in one basket, like Airbus did for a period with the A380, then yeah, they'd be in serious trouble in the future. Is that an expat holder? Yes. So what this expat holder is a VR magnet. It's for VR to stick things to. So current weather conditions here, 10 knot headwind, 3 knot cross. Coming up on some questionable weather, and that looks to be right at... oh god, we're going to be descending into some terrible weather. Okay. Top of descent is going to be a second, so let's just pull back our... this is going to sound silly, I'm going to get vertical speed in, and we're just going to descend at 2,000 feet per minute here, just to get back on V-path. I'm going to pull back throttle now to idle. V-path's coming in. And our vertical path is now engaged. Or should be... why is VNAV not working? This is a thing this plane does sometimes. V-path. I need to actually level out a bit here. Is it because I didn't have the throttles in? Needs to be extended 50 yards, like a while I've set it in dangerous heat now. I doubt it needs to be extended 50 yards. I would anticipate it needing to be extended by 50 meters. And yeah, V-path just isn't working. That's... oh no, now we're on V-path. Good. So we're going to be descending into some interesting weather. You can see some thunder. Well, if you look carefully, you can see some lightning every so often up ahead. Let's get this now onto real time, because we've got good visibility at our final destination, and the lightning is really dramatic at night. So we'll have a nice dramatic landing with lightning everywhere. Let's just gonna do something outside of the sim here to get the sim looking even. I've never done this with lightning going off, so I'm kind of curious what's gonna happen. On extreme. This is either gonna kill the lightning entirely or make it even more amazing. I'm not sure which. Okay, can I make it more amazing? Cool. So I just switched on my lights add-on. My lights add-on. Which, oh, this is terrifying. This is something you should never do, is descend into a storm. Like, look at this! Didn't the plane in Moscow go on fire because of lightning? In theory, it shouldn't have, but apparently it did. I'll be honest, I don't know how much I trust that report. Planes are effectively like giant Faraday cages. If you look up what a Faraday cage is, it's something that can conduct electricity but guide it around itself. So that while you can hit it with, and commonly Faraday cages are hit with about 50 to 60,000 volts, it doesn't do anything. You can stand inside one and be perfectly fine. In fact, you can get like suits of chainmail armor, I'm gonna call it, that are just Faraday suits, and you can have lightning shot at you from Tesla coils and be perfectly fine. There's a guy who makes music like that and it's really dramatic because it's Tesla coils firing lightning at him and it looks stunning and he is perfectly fine. A bit insane for wanting to do that in the first place, but other than that, fine. So we are coming down through 16,000 now. 14,600. Let's get the landing lights on. I'm going to in a minute need to turn off the strobes, as silly as that sounds. In reality you want to have the strobes on as much as possible when you're flying, but in X-Plane you actually want to turn them off when you're coming through clouds because it causes some hilarious blinking that is hideously unrealistic. In fact, in some planes you do genuinely want to have the strobes off when you're coming through clouds. Like a Cessna 172, you want the strobe lights off coming through clouds. So let's go for the external view here. Let's go into the chase view and you can see that yeah, we are dealing with some weather. Some quite extreme lightning storms are going on here in Africa. That one was rather close, holy cow. I'm just gonna put a small bit more throttle in to hold the speed about 170 knots. In fact, can I just manual hold it? No, I don't want to manual hold at 200. I'm gonna hold it 170 knots. Hang on, what does this knob do? Oh, hello. Manual. That'll hold us at 170. I knew there'd be a switch here somewhere to change the hold speed. So this is where... yeah, we should be breaking out of the initial... no, we shouldn't actually hit more storms. Well, we'll still have the storm, but we shouldn't hit much turbulence actually coming into Abidjan, which is nice. Gonna be honest, it is quite nice to today of all days to be flying along and be able to say, oh, we're not going to hit a storm and massive amounts of turbulence. coming through the rest of this flight. Although coming up to Aklos we should hit, we will hit a decent amount. So I'm not going to pretend like this is all going to be smooth sailing. We are going to hit a decent amount over by Aklos. Potentially quite severe, but we should be fine. We're going to need the ILS input here, and our ILS is going to be 114.3, which I will initially put into nav2. Just push that, nav2. 114.3, and we'll get DME. Can I get both DMEs up now? It's a better idea where the wind is. We'll get the bar down to 1010. Just anticipation of landing. Hey, Silver. I've been told by one of my viewers about a flight sim called Dead Stick that you are apparently covering. I am interested in this flight sim that I totally didn't tell you about in the first place. Hey, Rupert. Also, in Dead Stick news, they are taking applications for the closed beta currently. So they're obviously a lot closer to being done than I thought maybe 2 days ago. Who put what the hell? There is an Air Force somewhere that's put Hellfire missiles on a Cessna 208. What's up? Not a whole lot. We're not dealing with anything at all currently, or kind of as a theme today. Not gonna fire off now, is it? Yeah, we've not been dealing with anything out of the ordinary today. No storms, no massive amounts of turbulence, no issues whatsoever. I'd say that we're hitting turbulence. I can see the plane bobbling. It looks like the main bulk of the storm now is over this direction. Yeah, we've been dealing with some weather. We've been dealing with quite a lot of weather. 20 miles from Axlos, we can get the speed up to 200 again. Quite happy to bring this up to 200 knots. On descent. Just for the purposes of getting there a bit faster, descending a bit faster. Getting on the ground a bit sooner, flat to the mat. Not flat to the mat, I mean 200 knots is not flat out. If I wanted to, I could disable that and just go like this. And, you know, we could watch this climb all day. Because the more speed I put in, the more vertical speed this puts in. And we're descending, which means the vertical speed is going to increase, which increases this speed, which increases this speed, which increases this speed, which increases this speed, which just causes a massive cycle. We're now going at the speed of a jet. We're actually going faster than a jet would at this point in flight. 270 knots. 280 knots. Half the speed of sound now. 290 knots. There's Mach 0.5, one half of the speed of sound. 300 knots. You can hear the wind howling outside the plane as it screams in terror. Let's get back to our airspeed hold, which is going to kill the engine effectively from 313 knots, and we're going to bring it down all the way down to 200. In fact, at this point I do want to be going 170 just to be on the safe side. In fact, I can go 190 will be fine. Our landing speed in this is going to be about 90 knots, 90 knots. There is Abidjan, sprawling out to the right, being hit by lightning left, right and centre. We've got rain now. We're in the clouds. Got our de-icing on. In fact, we don't need it on. Outside air temperature is 14 degrees Celsius. We do not need de-icing or anti-icing. We are safe from icing conditions at this point. Low enough that the air temperature outside is 15 degrees Celsius, which is perfectly safe to run without any ice protection. There is the airport over there, by the way. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's off over there to the left. If you see a blinking green light, that is the airport. There it blinks. So that's where we're heading. We're going to be flying around the city here and landing all the way over there in a few minutes. Let's swap over to our ILS on nav1, 14.2 miles out. We've got some hailstones going on. And that was really close, holy crap. And this is the tougher turbulence I was anticipating, that's fine. Going warp speed, as you can see, from the warp lines going on. It's all going as I was anticipating so far, which is nice. Kind of rare for that to happen. CDI is going to need to change to nav1 for the ILS. 1,000 above. 1,000 to go even. You're flying fast enough that you can see on this window here there's some weird wobbly lines going on. That's actually the rain hitting the windscreen being blasted backwards. In theory. In practice it's probably just the script glitching out a bit. $2,600. You back again, Alexander? Welcome back again. Did you blue screen by any chance? Let's get our speed down to 160. Here's where we're going to start bleeding off all the speed. Maybe, maybe not. Is that a yes then? So here we go. Turning towards finals. Airport should be visible just off the wing here, but it's not. Why is it not visible? Because we're a bit too far away, I think. In fact, it should be visible off the nose almost. Yeah, we are dealing with some weather conditions. We'll keep it 160 for now. Bring it down to 150 once we are on final in approximately 1 minute's time. That, I think, is our glide slope. We are going to hold off on switching into approach mode. There's the airport. That's where we're going to be landing. That's our runway. Let's get our speed down to 140. Right turn to 206 in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right turn to 206 degrees. At this point, CDI goes to VR1. And approach mode. Course needs to change. Nope. To 208. I've just realized I'm on the wrong... Yes, that's better. We're on localizer 1, not VR 1. We are above glide slope, that is perfect. Flaps 1 can come out now. Hey Jack! And Henry. Going good. Started watching Chernobyl on Sky, it's amazing. I've heard that it's really good, I've not watched it yet though. There's the runway. Landing lights are on, anti-ice not required. Flaps 1. Gear not down yet, will be going down soon. 2,500, gear can come down. And down to our landing speed of 90 knots. At which point we can now throw in flaps 2. We're coming onto glide slope, coming onto final. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just watch N1 here, and it is quite high, holy cow. And that's just to stabilize the speed. I do believe we are good to go here. Few at 1300, we're 2400. I'm willing to say we are visual. Yeah, I'm happy to go visual with this approach. Just trim it in. More trim. Even more trim. Just hold it fairly steady, bit more power in. Oh, this plane just wants to descend. Actually just does not want to produce lift, that is great. Your man taking a look, you concerned just go, yeah, please do. Slightly left of where we want to be. Happy's 3 red, 1 white. Puppies are happy. So we're going to try and land actually at 80 knots, not 90, because I had to hold quite a nose high attitude just to keep from stalling here, or keep from slamming into the ground. Okay, we're on localizer. Glide slopes coming in. Pappies are quite happy with what we're doing. Let's dip the nose and pull back power. Put a small bit of right rudder in. Hey Dagmar. Feel free to, Alexander. I'm kind of gonna go. I'm gonna go sterile cockpit here because I do need to try and manage speed, altitude, and pitch all at once. CLS marker means we are more or less on course. just lay out the rudder for a second. Coming down a tad fast, nose can go up. And a small bit more throttling as well. Go to this view here, so you guys can just about see the yoke. It's a little joystick on the bottom left. You might actually not be able to see. I've just realised my overlay might be in the way there. But I'm making very, very small corrections to what I'm doing here. Okay, speed can go back. And I'm quite happy with that nose position. Landing lights on, gear down, flaps full, seatbelts, we'll say they're fastened. So you're cleared to land. Oh, thank you, Carturix. You're so nice to me. You absolute git. Pappies aren't actually happy at saying we're a bit high because we're in such a small plane. We've got 3 white, which indicates high. So let's just dip the nose a small bit more. Get those pappies happy. Bit more. Thanks, Lightning, for distracting me. Just FYI, Cart, have a look at the admin chat in Discord. Still 3 white, 1 red. Plane's quite happy coming in at this altitude though, so I don't want to tweak it too much. You okay with that? Yeah, it might just be the one this week, Cart. Just due to extenuating circumstances. There you go. Saying we're actually below glide slope according to the ALS, but I'm watching the Pappies now. I'm visual. I'm quite happy that we're going to make the runway, so I don't feel like the glide slope is necessary. I can see the runway, can see the Pappies. I'm going to just use the visual indicators as opposed to the radio indicators. Bit high. There's a runway threshold. We should be about, I'm going to say 70 feet because we're high. And we'll pull power, just pull the nose back a small bit. And we're going to just let this come down. Oh, that was a lot harder than I anticipated. Okay. We're on the ground safely. I'll now need to open up AviTap, have a look at the ground layout of the airport. Get a military apron, civil apron, Aero Club apron. That's where we're going to go. We're going to go to the Aero Club, which is going to be exit Foxtrot, which is right here. Take Foxtrot off. At this point the strobes can come off and the flaps can come up. And we're going to follow this taxiway all the way down to the end. Still better than Ryanair? Yeah, what was the G-force on that landing? That's what interests me, because if it's a high G landing I'm not happy, if it's a low G landing I'm fine. Landing rate, according to Project Fly, it was 285. Oh wow, I need to like put in half throttle to taxi again. Do I have the parking brakes on or something? Why is this just hating to taxi? Like 737, you can taxi idle. Nope, this you gotta put in 53% engine power. So the taxiway is going off here to the left, first left. Second left is a parking spot. We'll follow the taxiway around here. And if you're new to flight sims and you're wondering how in the hell did you know that the first left was the taxiway and the second left was a parking spot? Excuse me, what? The hell? The taxiway in real life continues here, so I'm going to not go out on the runway again. Oh, the taxiway doesn't I'm actually on the wrong taxiway here. Hang on, there should be a taxiway halfway up. Just... I've gone onto the grass. Should be a taxiway off to the left. There isn't. Ah, the scenery isn't great. There should be a taxiway right to the left there, or to the right there, but we're gonna have to go back onto the runway to taxi to stand. So the strobes can come back on. Don't need flaps. And we're just gonna fast taxi. Gonna take exit Bravo, which is this next one up here, next right. And we're taxiing at speed just because it, in real life this is what you do, you just get it up to a decent speed and taxi along the runway. You want to get off as quickly as you can because there's gonna be commercial jets wanting to get in behind you. And now we'll exit again, take the strobe back off. And now we'll taxi to the end. It'll be a first left again. And then we'll be taxiing down to the end, to the Aero Club apron. So we're currently on the civil apron. I could in theory park up anywhere here, but I want to go down to even possibly this area once it thins out. I'm fairly sure this will be the cargo apron, but I'll use that as a GA apron. All of this would be for jets, because Abidjan is a fairly I don't want to say it's high caliber destination. It's one of the more high caliber destinations in Africa. Big holiday destination for French people who want to go to Africa, for example. Abidjan would be a fairly popular destination in that sense. It'd be the French version of Cape Town or South Africa. So let's pull in here to the Aero Club apron. And we'll take this taxiway here. We'll just say we've not been given a hangar today. We've been oh my god, there's a hangar open. I'm parking in there. We're parking inside a hangar. Screw the rules. Hangar, 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 hangar. Yes. The rare Dave in a hangar. We're gonna park up by this Coke machine, which I'm hoping serves some Pepsi as well. Holy crap, it is actually a Coke machine. Does it serve Pepsi? It's been a minor accident. Does the Coke machine have Pepsi? I don't think it does. Gonna give it some jet blast real quick. We'll call that parked. Could you imagine a plane driving up to a Coke machine in a hangar? Will the shake alarm go off? Get the landing lights off. All of these can come off now. Probably can come off. The engine can come off. And that was a really nice approach, actually. By my usual standards, that was a really nice approach. 0.9 Gs. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that landing. But that is going to do it for today. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow with possibly Flight Sim. I'm going to be honest, if VF is in Farm Sim, I don't want to try and compete directly with his charity stream. If he's in another game, then maybe, but yeah. I'll be back tomorrow with either some multiplayer or some more Flight Sim, depending on what VF is doing. Until then, stay safe, and goodbye.